Good afternoon, NOSA group. It is Shamika, and I'm coming live to you guys just really briefly to share some information. I wanted the opportunity to share something that I'm aware of with you guys to maybe help you all through the recruitment process for some of your nurses. So I wanted to talk today about Nursys. So Nursys is a website that's been around for a little bit of time now, and it's used as a employer verification system for nurses license. And if you look here, you'll see it kind of talks about you're able to look up, verify, and monitor your nurse's license anytime, anywhere. So I know for us throughout the recruitment process, we do ask our nurses for their nurse's license, but it's so much more helpful if we can go to this system and pretty much just click here on a quick confirm and confirm their license ourselves. Some nurses already know about it and they just provide us with the printout, but essentially going through this process is easy. It takes maybe about 5 minutes, and then you have a full printout of their license, not only in the state that they're working in. So for instance, I hold a multi-state license, and then I have had licenses in other states. So when you see the printout for my license, it'll show a multi-state license in Georgia, and then it'll also show license is in other states like New Mexico. I've had a license, Hawaii, and then it'll show expired. So they have this really super cool video that kind of outlines everything. But if you click on look up your license here, it'll kind of give you what you need to get started. You go here, you agree, and then you just put in the nurse's information. If you have their license number, you can use that. I've never searched by NCSBN ID number, so I'm not sure what that is. So you just put in their name, the type of license they have, and the state that they're in. With the first and last name, you want to use the one that's on their license. So if they have a maiden name, you want to also check this search box. You click, and then you get a screen printout of it. Now, I will say most boards of nursing do participate in the program. There are a few that don't. So here's a good quick look to see whether or not they're participating, which kind of covers most of the states. And then if you're looking for an advanced practice participation, it's a little bit more limited. So if you look right here for the registered nurses and practical nurses, you know, it looks like most, just about every state, just taking a quick glance at it, does participate. So this is a great quick way to kind of get that information. And then another way to use the Nursys system, I think the only state, and I see it here now that I'm looking, the only state that doesn't participate is Michigan, but I believe they're working on something in that state. So I think once Michigan does their part, and all my nurses in Michigan, I would definitely push to have your state participate in this program, because once you're able to get it, not only is it beneficial as an employer where you can quickly look up your nurse's license, it's also beneficial as an employee, as a nurse. So if we go back to the front screen, you'll be able to see that they also give you the option to send your license verification to another board of nursing. And that kind of goes into some of the things we've discussed before, which is about the Nurse Licensure Compact. And I'm going to go to that website. Okay. So, so that's that. I just wanted to share that quick little tidbit about that. And then also talk a little bit to you guys about the Nurse Licensure Compact. And we can, Okay, so also get a chance to talk with you guys briefly about the Nurse Licensure Compact. Hi, Angie. I'll leave below in the link information about the website. So we have had other states added to the compact. So in July 1st, Kansas and Louisiana will start to be a part of the compact. And just to let you guys know who aren't aware, who aren't in states that have it, but to give you a chance to kind of get an understanding in that there are 33 states in the United States that participate in it. Most of the states are around here, with the exception of Michigan and New York and Pennsylvania. And then there's a lot of states here that I'm kind of tapping on as well. Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, all these states too, with the exception of California, Oregon, and Washington State, and then as well as Alaska, Hawaii, and Guam. And then there's a few in the middle. I think Indiana is working on passing something, but it's kind of more on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast, but slowly growing. And then also Maine and New Hampshire are also part of the compact. So what is it? So the Nurse Licensure Compact, or the multi-state compact, allows nurses to work across state lines. And a good example is probably here in the corridor of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, who are all a part of the compact, where if you're a person who may live on the line between Georgia and Alabama, or may work in Georgia but live in Alabama, you won't have to get a new license. And some of the benefits that are beneficial to nurses was that if you did decide to work in Alabama too, in that scenario, you would not only have to get a license in Alabama, you would also have to pay all the additional fees related to getting your license. So the fee to get your license verified in Georgia, the biannual fees to get your license every 2 years. And if you're a travel nurse, which we work with a lot of travel nurses, you would also have to do it for any other state that you travel to as well. So it can be quite costly over time. And as well in areas like New Jersey and New York and Pennsylvania, where it's very common for people to work and live in different states, but it not be a distance between the two, is as well as beneficial, because some of these areas may have nursing shortages. So it allows nurses to cross into the different states under this one multi-state license. So for your nurses who are coming into the states that are newly introduced into the compact, such as Kansas and Louisiana, and then we're waiting on New Jersey governor to sign, they would have to go and get another license. So you still have to go through the process similar to the process of renewing your license. When Georgia became a multi-state, the process was that you did have to reapply for a multi-state license, and then you also had to get fingerprints. So for the most part, the reason that it works for you to cross state lines is that it kind of creates a uniformity amongst all the states as far as the requirements that they have. So some states, for instance, like the state of Maine, didn't have a fingerprint requirement to work as a nurse in their state years ago. This is when I had it, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So you could apply through paper, submit your fee. I believe you had to get something notarized, and then you would be able to get licensed. So by creating uniformity amongst the states, it allows every person to kind of have that same state level background, the same requirements, meet a minimum requirement as far as education is concerned, which is good. And then the benefit for employers like ourselves is that it really allows us to expand our businesses. I know a lot of us here work in just one area or one region, or even many of us may only work in one state. But as you think over time and your business grows and you want to introduce another state, it is extremely helpful that you would be able to do so without having to have that individual have to get another license, and that take up time. As well, when I had traveled a couple of years back, it was common that employers or agencies would pay for your license. They use that as a recruitment tool. But this is a lot better, I think. You can get people a lot easier, especially in areas, like I said, where people live in one state and work in another. I'm excited about, the Alabama passing of the compact, as well as New Jersey, because those states are really good examples of living in one state and working in another. Also, one of the benefits to your state as well as to your community is that areas that have shortages, some of your rural areas hey Wendy, some of your rural areas in Alabama, or just areas that might have shortages of nurses, can get more access to care, because it makes the process a lot easier for people to be able to, take a contract or a travel contract in Alabama or Georgia or New Jersey, versus having to go through whatever process they had in place to for nurses to get their license. So I saw an article today on my Facebook feed, so that's why I wanted to share it. So the article, I'm going to share it. It was they were talking about the Alabama introducing the Nurse Compact. In Alabama, for all my Alabama people, theirs will go into effect January 1st of 2020. And then for my Louisiana and Kansas people, theirs will go into effect July 1st, 2019. And I think for New Jersey, they're still waiting for the governor to sign. And my understanding is that the governor will sign. And honestly, typically, once it gets to the governor, I haven't seen where the governor didn't sign the bill. But it's sometimes a matter of time. And it's also a matter of us nurse professionals pushing our representatives to make sure that these types of things happen, because it's important to us. So if you're part of your New Jersey Nurses Association, and if they're yes, Wendy, it's a good thing. Especially for the East Coast, I think it's a super good thing, because I think, I think for the East Coast, it's been in place like in Maryland and Virginia. Washington, D.C. haven't signed. But in those areas where it's so common for people to live in one state and work in another, it creates bit more flexibility options for healthcare professionals without the financial burden. So that's all. I just wanted to come in and share. I will post the article that I saw about Alabama. And if you guys aren't using Nursys to verify your nurse's license, I would definitely encourage you to do so. It's an easy process, and then it allows you to kind of keep that documentation. Oops, I spelled it wrong, sorry. Nursys. With regards to what's going on with your employee, and saves you time. So some employees know about it, most do, are familiar with it. It's a quick and easy system to use, and that's what I have here on here. And most states participate in it. The only state that does not participate in it, but I believe is working on it, is the state of Michigan. And I think there is one other state. I think it's Michigan, Hawaii, and Guam don't participate. But if you look in the image here, you see all the states in like this blue-ish color. That's saying that they participate. So you see Michigan white. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you're having a good day. If you have any questions about this, feel free to comment below. And thank you so much. Have a good day.